I made significant progress on the farm today, and I'm very excited about it. I don't know exactly how long this plan is going to take to pull off, but it's a big shift that I think will have a very positive impact going forward. My big mission today is to finish up my October contracts and prepare for what's going to happen in November, maintaining garden plots and animals I currently have, while I work toward a bigger plan to push things forward, most likely in the spring. Now, this whole time I was thinking I was going to get right into growing crops as fast as I could. I saw this as farming simulator, and to properly simulate a farm, you got to get some crops because that's one of the faster paths to making some money. But that's not what this run is all about, and I saw a comment on a previous video about a guy playing as a European dairy farmer, and I thought, why would I go straight to crops if I'm having this much fun already with animals? I mean, as I discussed, getting into farming is going to require an insane amount of money, and right now that would mean debt. And as you know, I'm already carrying about 65 or 70,000 that I'm slowly paying down. I don't want to build into a farming operation that's going to put me up to half a million to $1 million in debt. So then what's the actual path forward? Looking at what I have, I'd love to get a wheat field, but the fields I can afford, the ones maybe next to my grass field, are nowhere close to what I would need size-wise to actually make a profitable wheat operation. I would need an absurd amount of money, probably it looks like 200K just to buy a field big enough to even make a dent. And then of course there's seasonality to consider, when can I actually grow it? So when it comes to thoughts and plans, I know a guy in life, real life, who's doing something similar to what I'm envisioning. He's got a lot of acres, works a job that doesn't require him to be on site every day. He does travel a fair amount, but he's got cattle across some huge grass fields that he manages with proper rotation. And he's really good at cattle science. I realized this is not cattle science, but I did realize I built my pastures poorly. I tried to customize the fences, but I had a hard time with it, and I just figured I wasn't meant to do it right. Turns out I was being silly and I went the wrong direction. So I didn't maximize the space. So my cattle pasture only holds 7, and my sheep are both limited for no reason. I could have made either one larger. Since the hay baling operation isn't as profitable as I had hoped, and the idea of making the field next to mine all grass and then doing those bales by hand in perpetuity sounds crazy to me, I decided to reconsider that plan. This one field, the small field, produced about 20 bales. I might have more. If the next one does 60 or 80, I just don't want to deal with that many bales. It's too much to pick up and stack. So instead, I thought, what if I made this a massive cow pasture? I've got my hay, grass right here, and that should be plenty to feed them. And then I can expand my current sheep pasture to cover where that small cow pasture currently is. I am going to take a hit on construction. I'll need to throw some money away to rebuild properly because I don't have any kind of functionality and I couldn't find a mod to expand the current fences. But I do believe it'll be worth it long term to build what I actually want to build. A much bigger sheep pasture in the middle, and then a dramatically larger cow operation. This feels like a really clean path to income given that I already have reliable hay production. So that's the plan. I'm going to expand the animal operation first before trying to get into fields and crops. I'll use everything south of me and possibly even some nearby to get more cows, maybe into dairy production, and then pigs and goats. I'm not sure about pigs and goats yet. Maybe I shouldn't expand too quickly, but I just love them. The field I want costs $54,000, which isn't too bad. I have the cash right now, even though I am in some debt. Starting in November, I think I'll pick it up. The grass is already grown. With the few big contracts that I have in November, which are cultivating, stone picking, plowing, they'll run on autopilot. They'll be really easy. The hope is I can make enough money to get the field built, plus selling some of the hay that I'll make from that field. If that works out, I'll move my cows over, make sure they have food and water, get rid of the old pasture, and see if I can afford to build the expanded sheep pasture as well. That way I'll have plenty of space going forward. Honestly, I can't believe I made the same mistake with my chicken pastures. I should have thought more carefully about these game mechanics before I put down these structures haphazardly. At any rate, I like this plan because it lets me scale an operation I already have without introducing too many infrastructure costs or requiring new machinery to get real profit. Sure, buying and selling cows is involved, and I could use animal transport trailers to move 50 cows, but to me that would be crazy and untenable. I'm just going to buy them and have them delivered. This should, if it works the way I'm picturing, get some real cash flow into the operation. And then I can consider another field as a potential starter field or expand into even more animals. I'm not quite sure what makes the most sense yet, but that amount of money is still a few months away. If anything, I think I would go grain production. What I have been thinking about is the different crops that grow into the grain mill or whatever it is to make flour. And if I can grow them mostly year round, like wheat, barley, sorghum, and what is it, oat? I forget, I'm forgetting, but I think it's oat. All the ones that I can add to the mill, and maybe that's what makes the most sense. But for now, I'm going to stick with animals. I do want to try raising pigs for slaughter and goats as a dairy starter. Hopefully, they have a less expensive initial investment. For November, aside from that, it's business as usual on the farm. Not too much to do. Egg production is increasing as I get more chickens born and more maturing every month, but I feel no need to sell them right now. That's just more for me to carry. I might knock it out mid-month as I get some free time, but really, to start this month off, there's a bunch of lucrative contracts. I feel okay doing this many because it makes sense that this would be a big season prepping for actual winter, so everyone's getting contracts out and done. Relative to a full month of 30 days, this amount of work feels reasonable and doesn't break immersion too much. The payouts could be a little skewed, but if you think about hourly rate relative to scale, it probably works out. My understanding of farm economics is limited, but I think the model is large, gross revenues with large costs, and then barely profiting for the farmer. And I believe that's close to true to life. And this is what's going to set me up for having a really cool animal operation into the winter and then the spring. By far, the biggest pain is going to be mowing, tedding, windrowing, and baling this field of grass I just bought. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm thankful the field has grass on it already, so I can get some income right away. But as we've seen, hay bales don't sell for much, and while I can trust the AI to mow and ted with no problem, I can't rely on it to windrow with any amount of common sense. So I've got to do that myself. It's easy enough, but then I've got to bale everything, which, if I windrow into a nice clean row, won't be very difficult, but then I've got to pick up all those bales, put them on a trailer, and then sell them, and that's going to be a real pain. Also, it turns out my other field regrew with grass, which means I get to do that field too. And I should sound more excited. I am excited for the income. It's going to push me forward, pay off some of that debt, and help me get these new fields set up. And there are actually a couple of decent harvesting contracts that I was keen on, but then I checked the weather. It's going to rain for the second half of November, and I got to be careful about which I choose because harvests are reduced in the rain, I believe. So if I pick up too many harvest contracts that I can't finish this very day, I could put myself in trouble. I'd have reduced yield tomorrow, and then I might not have enough to complete the contracts. So I'll do this one harvesting contract and punt the rest, keep my plowing and cultivating, stick with those. So that is what the plan looks like today and then probably going forward. Some minor progress on the farm, not much I can do locally right now, but big plans are solidified with some huge contracts in November to finish out the farming season, prepping myself for what could be a huge year ahead. And that is where we're ending the video today. Thank you so much for watching and joining me on this farm development journey in Farming Simulator 25. I appreciate your comments because they give me some good ideas and guidance on where to take this next, so keep them coming. Subscribe if you can. If not, I still hope to see you next time. On behalf of the folks here at Mediocre Industries, we'll see you soon. Have a good one.